So you can help me understand this then, yeah? And just tell me if I'm thinking wrong. So every year there are 52 weeks in a year, yes?
Yeah.
Right. Okie dokie. So I got to try and see this right. So we're going to have to break this down per hours.
Okay.
So you're paid an hourly rate, yes? Per hour, yes?
Yeah.
So you're paid, I don't know, for on average, I'm just going to just give this a rough idea, it's going to be like £5. Terrible, and I made it look like the time. Wait, let me just try and have a think about this. So particular months then, your wages, if you're paid by hour, if you have less days in a month, what's the maximum days? 31.
Yeah.
Unless it's a leap year, yeah?
No, 31 is maximum.
So we got 31 days, yeah? And what's the minimum?
28 on February.
So 31 and
28.
28 days. Are you paid less if you work in a month with 28 days?
If you are paid monthly, then yes.
No, not monthly, paid per hour.
Yeah, per hour, but do you get your wage?
Yeah, but you get paid per the hour though, don't you?
Yeah.
Because I've noticed something, that money is up then down, then up then down. 1 month it's this much, next month it's less, next month it's this much. But these same companies that give you the wage, will charge you a full month in February, yeah?
Yeah. For any month, yeah. Whether it's
So if
30,
your
31 or
bills
20.
will always be
Yeah.
per month, not per hour.
Yeah.
So if your bills were per hour, certain months they would be less, and certain months they would be more.
Yeah.
And council tax would also be less one particular month
Yeah.
and more another month. Sure as hell, right?
Yeah.
So if you paid per hour on your bills,
Yeah.
how much would you save per year? If there are, how many days in a year are less? Months, sorry.
I don't know from head. I can't tell you.
But it fluctuates from 30, 31, yes?
Yeah.
So if you're paid per hour, you're paid less one particular month than you are another then.
Yeah.
But are you though?
Yeah.
So how many days in a year is that? 12. Well, this one is even...
I don't know because I don't know.
How can we work that out?
You have to look at your pad, maybe at the calendar, see how it's behind it. Open the calendar and see which months are shorter. And it also depends if the days are on week or weekend, how it works. So. But yes, some months were a little bit less. I remember that when I was paid.
But then your bills should be less on particular months. If you're paid per hour, and these companies say that you have to pay the bill, not because it's a bill, but because we have people that we have to pay.
Yeah.
We've got wages that we've got to pay. Then who's pocketing this? This seems weird. Something's sticking out. Maybe it's nothing. I don't know. Something feels a bit strange with this. I can't. There's something not fitting. Something is making me pay attention. I don't know what it is. Okay, so if we go back to the start of the year, so we'll start at January. Oh man, this gets confusing. So 31.
February is 28.
Yeah, 28. March is 31. Is it?
I think so. Yeah.
Perhaps they're not all short.
April
30.
30.
And that's not including bank holidays. Oh boy, this gets stranger.
Yeah, bank holidays are different for different people, whether
Yeah,
they
I know,
work
but
or
this
not.
should be included into the maths as well.
Huh?
Because nothing works over the Easter break. No one is usually at work over the Easter break. Some are, but are you paid time and a half? That's the question. Are you paid overtime? Probably
That
not.
depends on the company.
Right, then that
Yeah.
depends on the company. Then these companies that then are charging people bills should then lower the bill on those particular days then, because they've shut shop. No one's working. They're not paying energy. They're not paying wages.
Yeah.
So then this money should go down on the bill.
Yeah.
This should be reflected.
I know that carers
May
are paid
31.
more only on Christmas Day and Easter Day, I believe. Otherwise, no. Whether it's
June 30. Yeah, something's now standing out. There's a pattern here. 31. August is 31. September 30. October 31.
November 30,
30.
and December is 31 for sure, because it's the New Year's Eve. 31.
Man, and let's just quickly do this. Does anyone really work over Christmas Day, Christmas Eve? We're going to start taking these in. What about New Year's Eve, New Year's Day? I recall that there wasn't really much open. Some of these things were open.
It's mostly like healthcare professionals or people in health, and some services like that, essential ones.
But are they paid good wages for that? Because that's the old way, wasn't it? To be paid, you were paid for Saturday, Sunday, and bank holidays a really good wage.
Doesn't work now like that in some places.
Yeah, and if it doesn't, then that should be law then, shouldn't it? It should be law that you should be paid that much on these particular days.
Yeah, it should be law. I agree with that.
No ifs, buts, or maybes. Okay, wow, we've got a lot. So what about Halloween? Most things are open Halloween, aren't they?
Yeah.
Or are they?
Yeah,
They're open Halloween?
I think they are.
What about Christmas Day? I'm going to say no, so we're going to mark that one in as
No,
one
Christmas Day is
day.
off.
New Year's Day.
That
Going
is
to mark
off.
that as another one. What about New Year's Eve?
New Year's Eve usually are maybe shorter time though.
So again, let's say we'll do that as a half then. What about Christmas Eve?
Also shorter.
If you can remember, nothing used to be open for the 2-week period, and that's why people used to get these things, I love them by the way, called hampers.
We had it differently, but yeah, it was.
And then it started up with giving you a decent wage to work these times.
Yeah,
A little bit more in your pay packet.
yeah.
And then now it's mandatory that you will work these days. I just find this a bit weird. Halloween, yes, daylight savings, Remembrance Sunday. It's Sunday. Sorry, I didn't mean Halloween, I meant bonfire. September is clear. Summer bank holiday, Monday 25th. Again, hit and miss though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's say you do, you don't. Should that be a day where you get extra money? Happy birthday, thank you very much. King's birthday, Saturday. Father's Day, Sunday. Is the King's birthday a bank holiday? No, because it's
No,
Saturday.
it's not.
Easter Monday.
I don't know if Friday or Monday is holiday here.
And
Is it
spring
both?
holiday. It's on a Monday, so I don't know. I'm going to mark both those down. It looks like there's 2 there. Good Friday.
Yeah.
Again, depends.
Yeah.
Easter Monday, Easter Sunday. Wait a second. Easter, oh yeah, that's a bank holiday. Spring bank holiday. Okay, so there's 2 in May. So Good Friday. I already counted that one in.
Yes, you did.
But I didn't because that was a different holiday there. Easter holiday, spring holiday. No, I didn't count that in. There's one. Easter Monday. That's that long bank holiday, isn't it? Usually no one is out and about on that. And then there's another early bank holiday, which is the 5th. I'm going to put that one down. Easter Sunday, no. Daylight savings, no. Carnival, no. Mother's Day, daylight savings, no. Valentine's, no. Carnival, no. Bank holiday on the 10th, yeah. And again, we're back at New Year's Day. So, all right, let's just have a little look at this for a second. So how many days less is that being paid then? So let's say that these are all the full month, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Your direct debits will be paid maximum on these days, which we know isn't true, right?
Mm.
This day would be maximum, this day would be maximum.
You have two more you didn't underline.
Say again, this one.
Yeah.
Maximum.
And then under 28 and next to 28.
So this one maximum and this one maximum, but this
Okay.
one's quite a few days short though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which then I wonder if we add up these,
Mm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we go 28, 29, 30, 31. That's 3 days. So you have minus 3 of these 31s off.
Mm.
So what's that? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days.
Mm-hmm.
So you're out of your week, you've already lost 7 days pay.
Yeah. Okay.
No, out of a year, sorry.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Just
out of
on
the
1 month, yes, 1 month,
Yeah.
no. 1 month, yes, 1 month, no. No, yes. But this one makes up for quite a few, yes?
Yeah.
So you're 7 days out.
Uh-huh.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17,
And 2.5.
18.
18.
That's how much you're underpaid then, isn't it? Per year? Well, we know definitely 7.
Yeah.
If you're paid by the hour.
Mm.
And then your direct debits are overcharged by 7 days.
Mm-hmm.
So when giving you a wage, they'll give you less, but when taking it, they want the full month.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not including these days that you don't work, let's say.
Yeah.
And then no more bank holiday time and a half or anything else like that, which again is a question. If you asked all people that work, and should this be prejudice in a way that you only ask the working people, where you do a consensus, as a honourable government, you would ask the people that are actually in employment, should your employers be paying you more, double your pay,
If you work on
if
holiday.
you work on the bank holidays?
Yeah.
And then does this free up more people to get more DOS? But there again, it could push the prices up. But there again, leaving the EU push the prices up.
Yeah.
We want British food, they say. It would be cheaper if we get British food. What happens?
Yeah.
It's more expensive than it's ever been, right?
Yeah.
Compare it to Lidl.
Yeah.
And I'll say, well, that's not because it's not this. Well, compare it to Lidl. How do you think that they're able to balance the prices? Because that looks like the old way and this new way.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. There's something here. There's something here that doesn't make sense. What is it that doesn't make sense? This is really standing out to me. And I'm asking this question then. So if you're 7 days absent with pay, but you've now got to pay all of these bills like they are full months. But these companies that you're paying to are not paying their employers.
Yeah, they will pay you less if they can in any way.
So where does this money go?
And then we'll call each month a month.
But then you can't call it a month if you're not going to pay it a month.
Yeah.
But if you're going to demand payment for a month, then you need to pay it in a month.
Pay month, yeah.
So then per hour is horrible.
Yeah.
How do you get a salary? So that's the difference between pay hourly
Uh-huh.
versus salary.
Yeah.
But how do you get a salary?
Before I came here, I always had salary.
So salary means that you're paid more or less. No, if you do
Constant.
Yeah, it's a constant amount.
Yeah.
And then that means that bills are then fair, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, and then what happens if you are paid by a salary? See, salary used to mean something. It doesn't now. Salary was invented so that they didn't pay you extra on the holidays. You'll be working Christmas Day. Will I get any more for it? No, because your salary. Again, you lose.
Yeah.
And now with let's say if they're gone with salary, and then it's the 7 days where you're docked, you lose.
Yeah.
And then you're charged more. And then how much does this work out from what you're lost in your earnings and what you're charged in a bill? Again, that's double loss, isn't it? I can see why you'd get rid of salary and do the per hour pay.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So again, should we only ask the working class in Britain in a consensus? You know, you're finding out where people are at in the United Kingdom, but also put a page in there for all people that work. Please fill in your details so that we know that you're legit.
Yeah.
Can you answer us a question? Do you want to be paid a little bit more in these times? And do you want us to create a law that removes this? And you will be paid per month. And then we will set this via you will not be paid any lower than. And then should there be another law that's equally as fair, that employers can't charge you a full month if it isn't a full month? I mean, it is kind of a bit cheeky, isn't it? Asking for a full month for something, but you close your doors.
Yeah.
You are not working on these times. So why do you need that?
Yeah.
That money should drop then. That should drop. Clear as shit, right? If you're no longer, right, they drop their overheads, right? Your overheads at home go up. Well, why is that? Because you've got to pay the electric, you've got to still eat the food, and you still have to pay the bills.
Yeah.
Theirs have dropped because of electric. Their electric will go down. They're no longer providing food if they are providing food. I mean, questionable, but again, the electric goes down. And then should you be charged a full rent? They want an extra day for a leap year.
Yeah.
Well, then what about minusing a day's rent per month? So why is it that they won't minus a day's rent, but will charge you an extra day's rent for an extra leap year?
Yeah, and they will call it week because it's Monday.
And it's called a week, yeah.
Because week starts on Monday, so.
I thought we were in a fair society. Life's what you make it.
Well, it should be in fair society, shouldn't it?
So again, this is very interesting to me. I find this fascinating, actually. That's weird. So I would ask the question then, should this be something that is looked at? And as a people, you would probably say yes, that should be. And then there are risks involved with doing this. It might push products up a little bit more, but would it? This is saving money. I don't care what you say, this is saving money. And then if they didn't pay a rent on this day, they would be saving a sort of rent as well. If it because it have to be fair, wouldn't it? If you're going to charge an extra day's rent, it's different when you're in a house, isn't it? It's like saying, well, I weren't there this week because I was at work most of the time, so I don't need to pay the rent. No, it's not. That's not what we're saying here. But if you're not at work, and then how much extra cash would this put in people's pockets? Is what I'm asking. Would they be able to afford? What's that? What's a week's worth per year? And then if you've been at a company for 20 years, you add that up. Yeah, add that up. 7 times 20.
140.
140. And then 140 times £5, for argument's sake.
Well, these are days, so
Well, days, yeah. So we'd have
So
to
how
then break
many
that down
hours,
into
yeah.
whatever you work. So if you're doing a
Whatever
12-hour
others.
shift, shit me. Okay, so shit. Okay, so 7. So then that's going to be 12 per the day ratio, yes? So that's 12 times 6? 7?
yeah. That's 7 times 20. No, you have
Yeah, I got a calculator here.
calculate.
It's probably better to do it that way, actually. No, I'm just curious about this. Maybe it's not like this, but I want to figure out what that is in terms of cash. Because you still charge the bill at the same rate. And this is by the same company that will not give you a wage. Not saying that it's right nor wrong, but somewhere along the line, does this need looking at? Oh, leave it alone. Well, why leave it alone? It seems this is interesting to me. I find maths interesting, although I didn't do very well at maths. So what did we say? 12
Times
times
7
7?
to get hours. How many
And that
hours?
gives me 84 hours.
84 hours. And now
Do
you
84 times whatever it was, wasn't it? The year.
whatever the money is. What's
Yeah.
the money?
Yeah,
5?
okay. So 84 then.
Yeah.
84. Oh, hang on. Let's clear that. It's 84.
Yeah.
84. And then we said £5.
Yeah, times 5.
Times 5. That's 420 quid.
And now multiplied. That's now multiplied by 20.
And that's is
By
minimum
20
wage
years.
really this much?
Yeah. Not anymore.
What? And then do that by
20.
20.
Yeah.
What? 420.
Yeah, if it's this is
By
1
20.
year, so by 20 years.
420 times 20.
Yeah.
8,400.
Yeah, that's nice, isn't it? On minimum wage, that was minimum
On a
wage.
minimum
was
wage.
when, yeah.
So to do that in reverse, that's how much extra you're paying companies for a full month that ain't full.
Yeah.
If you were to think about what you're paying on your bills, if you add up your combined bills,
Yeah.
you're paying that extra.
Yeah.
But when there's a leap year, they want to charge you a week. Man. Bloody hell. I'm in the wrong business. Wait, I'm not even in a business at all. Yo, this is something. 8,400 quid. Is that enough to do childcare?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Is that enough to heat your house and perhaps buy some food?
Yeah.
Is that enough to stick in a pension pot?
Yeah. It's better than nothing, isn't it? 8,000 is good to put in some pot to
And then could you imagine, right?
multiply.
If you were a .gov and you were to say to the people, look, we would get you this much, but we'd take 200 quid out of that. How many people working, I've got to ask the question, would be, fucking go for it. I mean, you're going to give me 800, let's say if you work, and I mean, you are not on this much. You are on more than a fiver.
Yeah, that's a long time ago, that one. Yeah.
And if they were to say, well, you know, you'd get 8,200 per over this many years. I know it's a lot of years, but even still, we'd take 200 for that to go on to another, you know, bettering up this system or to go over to here. Would you be all that bothered about it? I mean, ask you, for example, would you be bothered with that?
No.
I mean, I don't know what that is per year. We're at 420, yeah? So per year, what if that was like, let's say that .gov would say, well, we'd take 20 quid out of that, but you get the 400 per year.
420 is nice, getting it on Christmas as a Christmas bonus for
In with the consensus, right? And you are not on that much.
Yeah.
So if it was on more money, then there wouldn't just be 20 quid. It might be a little bit more. But how many of you would be actually happy to pay that? You'd be feeling that in your pocket.
Yeah.
And then what could this go on to? We could build better social houses that could be for all people that work. That would then be called affordable housing for people.
Look at it, you have 20, take it from 1 million people and already you have 20 million.
Yeah, 20 million. What could 20 million do to a country?
Yeah. And you have here are like 70 million people.
How much was it? The black hole budget is 20 billion, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is per year, right?
Yeah. That's from million people only. 20 million.
Well, there's more than 1 million people in Britain.
Yeah, that was example. Like if you have 70 million, or how many is there? 70 million?
I think, yeah, go on, we'll go with that.
That's 140 million, isn't it?
So 140 million.
Yeah.
Just on excess tax.
From
Remember,
20.
ladies and gentlemen, you would be cashing in more if you think about it, because you'd be getting an extra 400 in your packet. What's 20 quid from that? And you are earning more than that. I mean, this is the sort of thing that we'd include in a consensus, right?
Yeah.
To ask this question, that this is what you'd get, but we tax this much. Would you mind? I mean, even, and then if people were like, frick me, this I can do with this.
Yeah.
What could you do as a government, therefore as a nation, together collectively, nation working class working with the .govs?
Yeah.
What extra could you do with that as a nation?
Yeah.
What could we build? Could we build better infrastructure? Could we have more solar panels? Could we have a space program from it? And could we have farming from it that was more than just the top level layer of the... What more could you do with this? What could you build with this?
Yeah.
A space program that starts to bring in more resources. I mean, the possibilities are endless. It's not about just recycling, but if this went to go across our national debt, I mean, and you're not going to be getting this much. It'd be a lot more, especially if it was a 12-hour shift that you were working.
Yeah.
It's more than that per hour.
Yeah.
I don't think that anyone would particularly mind that. Wow. There's always light at the end of a tunnel. Always. Always. And what can seem quite negative is already, there's a problem, here's the solution or possible solution. Here's a possible outcome for you. Here's a possible outcome for this.
Yeah.
If it's a majority vote that comes back with the yes and everyone's willing to do it, then that is more than enough to say, okay, we're going to make this mandatory. It's no different from leaving the EU. The majority vote said leave. Scottish referendum, majority of people said stay together. I mean, that majority won, so it would be the same in this. And then what would our nation look like? All of us. And then we can all say that we've all put into that. If you've got wise spending on this, it's an extra income. That means that there's more to be done. Better roads, better quality, better this, better... There's an awful lot going into that. Better projects. Perhaps you have some business ideas and some of this goes off to fund your businesses. Your startups. Because if it inspires more people to get out working, then that's well-used money. It's utilised in a correct way. Not all of it, but segments of it. It can change the face of our towns, cities, countrysides, farming, infrastructure, defence budget, our debt, our economy, our way of life, and it makes us stronger, not weaker, but stronger. And then that's from employers. Is it employers? It is, isn't it? Employees, employers, businesses, and everybody else in between.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm a little delusional in all of this, but I don't know.
Yeah, but you can definitely see in it how the businesses are using people. You don't work that many hours, you will be paid only the hours.
Yeah.
But it is a whole month, no matter how long, so you will pay for the whole month, whatever it is.
Yeah,
the
whatever bill it is.
Yeah.
So working one side, it takes from your pocket more
Then gives.
than gives.
Yeah.
And then this then makes the bird. I mean, you wouldn't give a shit about your taxes after that. Well, you would care about your taxes, but it wouldn't be such a back-breaking experience, would it? If you think about it. You've got an extra this much in your pocket. That could be a potential electric car that you're saving towards. That could be potentially a new bit of equipment in your house, or whatever it may be, a new furniture. That could be, to some people on the lowest income, that could be food and the difference between heating a house and eating.
Yeah.
And then this extra in here, this is like innovation, finding ways that low heat appliances, while they're getting hot, they're also getting very cold outside. That's why I love dehumidifiers. They're fascinating things. One side of it's getting really hot and the other side is getting really cold. I mean, these things fascinate me. This is fascinating.
Yeah.
Cool, if you could put all the heat in one place and radiate it out into space. That would be an interesting thing. That would be very interesting for me. But again, there are many ways to do that. But it was going to take some sort of innovating technology again, but it's going to need money to upfront to build that. Certain chemicals, that when they start to get hot, they get agitated. And if they're compressed, the gases become really jiggly and they get really cold in that. And when they get colder in that, the appliance then shouldn't be releasing any heat. It should be releasing a neutral air. So neutral products, although the TV may get hot, but when you turn it on, it gives out a neutral temperature as opposed to a hot one with a fan and just blow the air out. I mean, that works. It's convenient. It does the job and it has done. But what about collecting that and blowing it into a heater, storing it for later? I don't know, just some innovating, or it blows a neutral air. So the air's neither hot nor cold. It's the same temperature as it went in. Perhaps it needs to be a little bit more colder, but then connected to a bracket that sits in the house somewhere that then vents this colder gas outside. You know, again, you get that balance going. Solar farms, that's another one. That ends in a nice blanket around. You know, with, you know, like those glasses you get that react with the tint when it gets really bright out. What about one of those that you can control? Which would be like a screen. A screen, when it's turned off, allows the light to fall through. But when you turn it on and the ink comes across, it sort of shades. So you've got the ability to turn it on and off. So a little bit too cold today, we'll turn that off. When it's a bit too hot, you turn it on and it acts as at least a shader for the planet. Again, balancing out that heat, not too hot, not too cold. I mean, it's few and far between. And then however many layers you've got of these. But they just orbit around the planet. So they can be transparent, close to. But they can also be inked up a little bit so that they just sort of chill that air out a little bit.
Yeah.
Stop it getting too toasty. I mean, it doesn't stop the inevitability, but it does slow it down. It gives you a little bit of a chance to get going, doesn't it? I mean, that possibility is potentially done. It's not going to be free to do that. You know, you've got to keep the infrastructure of all of the stuff that's already in play. Because people have grown quite accustomed to an NHS, and they've grown quite accustomed to dentistry and looking after home assets. So you need a little bit of give and take in that. In order to keep these nice things operating, we need to generate a little bit more in order to make other projects, because we've got to add to them, but it ain't free. And this does generate jobs as well in the process. Once mastered, that is an interesting thing, and then it frees up some money. But what can we do with that money, with this extra money, that doesn't break the backs off anyone? Yeah, I think that this would be, you know, and then if you could do this all the way around the world, so that there is no escape from this. You see, that's where leaders need to come together on things like this. How are you going to achieve this? Because it ain't no good one nation doing it, because what will happen? Businesses will leave. So we do it all the way around the world. What does that do? Well, it doesn't matter whether you're here or there. this is still going to be made to happen. Do you see? That's that united front where everyone comes together in that sort of aspect.
Yeah.
Shades of grey, and then the youngsters. That's the next thing that everyone forgets is, yes, although businesses may leave under those circumstances, our younger generation, the bright sparks of tomorrow, you don't think they're going to grow up and want to make their own businesses and work in different industries? So, yeah, that's a teething problem as far as I'm concerned, you know. You have your baby teeth in the beginning, and that's if you don't want to put into this pot, then we'll lose those baby teeth and then we'll grow the adult teeth. Things fall, things rise. That is the ebb and flow of life. It's happened throughout history, repeatedly. Not with all, but that's just the ebb and flow. My full commitment in that is in the next bright sparks. They got it. They know what they're doing, and I'm sure that they will undoubtedly end up making a better world than it was found in. So sure, things leave, sure, things fall, but there you are. That's just it, isn't it? Really, that's part and flow. That's the ebb and flow of life. That is.
Yeah.
And again, what could you do with this? You then find that extra money, I think, and it's extra money that puts it in the pockets of people. 400 quid, are you going to be haggling over 20 quid?
No.
The wow to the £400. Well, it's going to take like 20 quid from that. If you can make that happen, do it. I think that's the sort of vibe we'll get from people. I think that's how people are, you know. People are naturally generous in that aspect. And especially if we sit down together and look at this from a logical perspective, we like these structures that we've got in place right now. We do. The NHS, very convenient. Yes, dentist, go and see a dentist. It would be great if it was affordable for many people. Oh, it'd be great. That would be wonderful if you could get it like that. Then you've got police officers, fire brigade, paramedics. These things are paid for from the taxes and different things like that. Different councils and other understanding like that. So these things sort of kind of take care of themselves with the money that's going around. If you found some extra money, what could we do as a nation with that? But we got to find it for your pocket, and then in the hope, which is not a hope, you're going to find it for our pocket. And our pocket is all of us as a nation, collectively. Not individually, but collectively. Because after all, it's going to be our kids that are the next bright sparks.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be nice to leave them with just a little bit extra to, you know, what can you do with this? Or this, and this. I like that. Ooh, like that as well. Ooh. It's exciting. It's like Christmas, right? Every time you have a next generation come out, you know?
Yeah.
What are they going to go and do? The potential. Ooh. The fire is burning, you know? What are they going to go off and achieve? What breakthroughs are they going to go and make? It's very exciting. And it allows the functions to stand and a load of newness to flourish.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, I think it could start with something like that. And it gets the people round the table at the same time. You know, it's a consensus, but there's a bit in it for you. We need to hear your voice. It matters in this.
Yeah.
Here's what we're thinking. Here's the plan. Here's brutally honest tax that we would seek to get from this in comparison. There you are. You know, frickin' hell. We're going to be giving you 420 quid. Right, you are. But I'm going to be taking 20 quid from it. Well, go on then. If you can get rid of 400 quid, mate, go for it. You know, it's no different to a solicitor's fee in essence. Yeah. We're going to be taking this much from it. Fair enough. It's like near enough this much is for you, and you're going to haggle over this much. This little bit. Seems weird to me. And there again, it's not like it's going into someone's pocket. It's going into the national pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because somewhere along the line, we've got to come to this, because if not, we're going to have to keep switching, the money in the pot just ain't, it's not budging enough to go on to different projects. And I think this is the issue that we have in society. The fundamental bottom line of it is there just ain't enough. But to squeeze people, I think that again is not great either. But if we can all squeeze everybody in this sort of, and then this helps people, and this helps the political sphere, if you want to say that, and there's a bit more money just to be able to go off and do the projects that need to be done. Because I think we forget that after all. I think that's what we forget as a nation. Yeah, I think it's not obvious that we honestly think that these taxes go in pockets. But when you see the wages, decent wages that need to be paid, that's a large chunk. And you can be like, well, just print more money. They don't work like that. There's a fluctuation here. You've got to have something to back it up. No different if we were to use gold and diamonds if this became the currency. Again, you've got to be able to back it up. It's no good running out, because what are you going to give the people that work the jobs? What are you going to give to the NHS staff for a wage? IOU, will that work? Fuck that. No one's going to do it, right? And then we like these things, and those things are convenient to us all, although we don't appreciate it, because, when you really need it, you need it. But you can't pay them nothing, and you can't give them a shocking wage. And if there ain't no money in the pot, and then if this money is functioning on here, do we have anything free to go and function over there? Probably not. So somewhere we gotta find that works for you, works for you, works for you, works for you, works for you. Can't please everybody. Want to bet? I think this one will. And companies aren't going to be losing anything anyway, because you charge a full month every month.
Yeah.
So let's not forget that.
Yeah.
And you're saving on the electric because no one's there. Unless you're leaving the factories running with all the lights on whilst no one's there. Interesting.
No, they don't.
So technically, you'll still be doing all right.
Mm-hmm.
I think. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad we had this little talk. It was a very nice one. Thank you for helping me with this one. Perhaps it's not like this. I don't know. Maybe it is, because you pay per hour. Hourly rate. This is your hourly rate.
Yeah.
You work this many hours. This is how much you get.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it stays the same all the time, then that would be very pointless then, wouldn't it? But I don't know. Then why would there be a salary? I don't know. Man, I don't know. Wherever and whatever it is, what it is. But you come and do some laps. Yeah, come and sit down on you. Kisses. Yeah, kisses.